Can you hear me, Clive?
Ah, there you are. Hello.
You can hear me. You can hear me. I
I can
wasn't.
hear you now, but
I wasn't sure whether the first segment that I spoke about was heard. So you know what? Just in case, I'll start again.
let's go again. Take
Let's go
two. We
again.
get a clapper board.
Exactly. We're pros, right? We can do this more than once. Yeah, if you
Yes.
didn't hear me before, I will say actually before I kind of kick in, I should, in theory, be able to see comments come through on my screen. So if you are around, um, I think I think Sam's just posted on LinkedIn. Hi, good morning, Sam. There was no sound. Yeah, I think I fixed that now. So hopefully Clive can hear me. So that's one thing. So hopefully other guys can hear me as well. And Yeah, Facebook. I've got a couple of screens, windows up here, so I should hopefully be able to see comments come through. But I think what we'll find actually is that Facebook, the usernames might be some sort of like privacy thing that we can't see usernames on my specific screen. So I've just got my Facebook window open and I can see that Andrew and Ryan are here. So hello, good morning to you both. Yes, hello. This is episode one, the pilot. We are potentially going to create some quirky episode title names, maybe some play on words, but I couldn't think of anything interesting for today this morning. So this is episode one, the pilot. You might have seen a very brief kind of snippet from yesterday where we did a bit of a tech check. That's clearly not worked because I was muting myself this morning straight away, which wasn't great. But hey, first episode, teething issues and all that. So I am joined here today by the wonderful Clive, all the way from, is it sunny where you are today in Ireland, Clive?
Yeah, that's a bit of an oxymoron straight away, isn't it? Like, sunny old Ireland. The grass is green, 40 shades of green and everything. No, it's pretty grey, it's pretty wet, but we're okay because that means we get more time to do cool things like this, right? Rather than being
Well,
outside on the beach enjoying sunshine. Who needs any of that sort of thing? So, yeah, look at Neil. Thanks very much for having me here.
that was a great save. Nice one. Cool. I guess going forwards, we're going to try and sort of structure these podcasts, vodcasts, whatever you want to call them, in a semi-organized way, and we'll kind of hopefully today is kind of around what we're trying to do, kind of the vision, the purpose, what sort of content we're hopefully going to produce. You know what, 3 or 4 episodes, it could spectacularly fail and we'll never revisit this again. But hopefully this is going to be a little bit of fun for both Clive and I, and we're going to create something interesting and personable and relatable and current, which I think is lacking in our industry. So without further ado, you may know me or you may not. My name is Neil and I am the founder of NDC. I own an accountancy business here in Weston-super-Mare, and as you can see, it's quite sunny this morning here in Weston-super-Mare, which is about half an hour southwest of Bristol in the UK. I'll kind of allude a little bit more in terms of background and the depth of that background a bit later, but for me right now, that's kind of all I'm going to say at the moment. Clive, did you want to say a few words about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Clive Hand and I'm the owner of Bluestone Accounting, and as you can probably guess, I'm based over here in Ireland. So does that technically make this an international podcast series? I don't know, but okay, let's say it's the first international podcast that we could do.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah, so very similar kind of to thinking mindset of Neil. It's very much about business owners first, delivering accounting services to that. And what we find here is that we have a lot of the same challenges that you have in the UK. So this is a great chance to combine those experiences and share those values with you guys.
Awesome. And I guess kind of a bit of background about the two of us combined. So I think Clive reached out to me probably, well, I don't know, Clive, what, 2, maybe 3 years ago now, potentially. I mean, you could tell the story of how you met me. I can't quite remember. Did I do a conference talk or something, or?
Yeah, I think you Oh man, it was COVID time, wasn't it? I think he did an interview at Mark, and it was like how you go from what was your first 9 months like, or something like that. And in that story, you were telling about your background. You came from industry. You started your own practice. Your focus is on being an accountant in business, helping business owners. And I was like, holy crap, it's like me. So I found a lot of parallels and that, and I thought it was interesting just to reach out and have a call with you, and then have a call with you, and you got like AC/DC and Metallica posters sitting in the background of your office, and you got Lego figurines, and look at, as you guys can guess, I do like a little bit of Lego as well, and so yeah, I just thought this was a pretty cool guy to catch up and have a chat with, and ever since then, catch up every now and again. So yeah, cool.
Amazing. That episode, that vodcast, that interview that I did with Mark Wickersham, who you're referring to, that was in, from memory, November 2020. So yeah, so 3.5 years ago. That's incredible. I didn't realize it was that long. Crazy. So yeah, so Clive reached out. We've called up various sort of bits and pieces since. Clive is now a member of Mark Wickersham's Value Pricing Academy, which you may or may not know I coach on, and we've met a couple of times. Clive's visited me at my house, and then we've done a conference or two together as well, in Manchester. I think we went to Manchester last year. Um,
Yep.
and we've also worked on a few projects. So, I've had a few UK clients that have gone to Ireland, and Clive's had an Irish client or two that have come to the UK. So we've worked together, as well as kind of shared sort of personal aspects as well. And you know what, like in terms of kind of, I guess, why we're doing this. And this is my fault why it's taken so long. I think Clive's been very patient with me. I've wanted to do something like this for a long time, because I like listening and consuming podcasts and vodcasts, and people that know me well will probably know that I'm a massive advocate of Stephen Bartlett and Diary of a CEO, and I just thought there was nothing really kind of for small businesses in the accountancy industry. There's a lot of stuff that I think that there's podcasts for accountants. There's podcasts that are created by software vendors for accountants, and typically they might have an agenda to sell their product, which is obviously fair enough. But there really didn't seem to be anything kind of in the accountancy industry, but tailored towards specifically small business owners. And it doesn't need to be finance, accountancy, tax related. It can be broad, encompassing, business related. So I guess kind of, the purpose of doing what we're doing is basically to give that sort of rounded approach to numbers, and to demystify kind of the taboo of finance. And you know what, it's the title Making Finance Fun is something that stuck with me since the very beginning. I do find it, Clive said earlier about an oxymoron, and I think the name is absolutely an oxymoron. But I like to think that we walk the walk as well as talk the talk, and you'll find that both of us are not corporate, stiff upper lipped, dry people. We do have a sense of humour. We are professional, but we can hopefully communicate stuff to people in a interesting way, shall we say? So so I've kind of hinted about what's to expect today. So we're just going to talk about kind of hopefully like a rough format in terms of what we perceive to be what the episodes would be like going forwards. I would say, if you're watching this live, a load of people have said hello. So good morning, hello to all of you. Some really nice comments and feedback. Thank you so much. Apart from the muting at the beginning. If you've got questions, feel free to let us know. Clearly, in the future, we'll have themed episodes, and we'll have things where we'll be able to hopefully garner questions in a more direct kind of purpose, but format. But if you want to ask any questions today, then feel free. And if you're watching a recording, because I'm conscious that this is 10 o'clock on a Friday morning, people might be at work and not listening live. If you're watching a recording, and you have any questions on either kind of the topic that we discussed in the current episode, or maybe stuff for a future one, then just message Clive or myself on our business pages, or message in the Making Finance Fun Facebook group. Clive will also hopefully be sharing this in his Facebook group that he's just started as well. And it's on LinkedIn, I think, at the moment, and I'm toying with Instagram, so it might be on Instagram right now as well. Who knows? So yeah, just give us a shout. Um, I think now, Clive, if you want to talk about kind of the concept, and we've already talked a little bit about the format and the name and whatever, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I think you've hit the nail on the head a couple of times there. I think it's very important that this is for the business community because look at the backbone. I know here in Ireland, and it's probably the same in the UK. But the backbone of the economy and businesses is the small and medium business owner. It's the solo entrepreneur. It's the family run businesses out there. It's the team of two, whatever it may be. And it can be very difficult as a business owner to wear all the hats. You know, you take on a job, you got your sales, you got your marketing, you got your operations and everything else and the responsibilities like paying wages and making sure staff are covered that comes with that. And that could be quite a lonely journey to do on your own or by yourself. So this is a platform, an extension of the community that Neil has already built to come and ask your questions about those challenges you have in your business. And we have kind of a list of episodes and themes for each of those episodes for the next number of weeks that are coming in this podcast series or live event series. But we're flexible on that. So whatever the mood or the temperature is in the room, we'll kind of pivot and go with that. It's really important that you, as the viewer, the listener, get super value out of this. So pop in your questions into the Facebook groups directly to ourselves, whatever it may be, and then we can build an episode around those questions. Okay, so the vision for this podcast has to be that you come away with a lot of value and insight. Okay, maybe just to get a steer in the right direction and make sure you're on the right road and not the wrong track. That's really, really important. And that's what we're just trying to deliver here. So it's going to be informal. I don't wear shorts and ties. It's normally a t-shirt and a hoodie. But we do take the profession very serious. We do make sure that the advice that we give, even though we're technically not giving you advice here, is it's just to put you on the right road, really, at the end of the day. Yeah, so it's ultimately for business owners, right? We will have topics coming up in the future. We're looking at likes of pensions, investments, property, maybe starting your own business. I think, Neil, you ran a Facebook group in your group there to see what the top hot topics were. I know over the next couple of weeks, I think what we're going to do is run this every Friday, every 2 weeks, same time. Go live on Facebook and LinkedIn and hopefully Instagram as well. And so next couple of weeks is going to be probably a deep dive session with Neil, a deep dive session with Clive, and then probably kick into the topical areas of interest to you guys. And it looks like probably pensions, Neil, is kind of one of the hot topics for people out there currently.
Yeah, so from the poll that I ran a few weeks ago, I've just got it to the side of my screen here. So some of the topics that were, I think people were really keen to kind of investigate a bit further. So we've got things like property, we've got pensions, we've got how to start a business. So yeah, Clive mentioned it's for business owners, but I think that there's a whole raft of content here that could be for non-business owners as well. People that might want a pension or people that might want to invest in property that aren't necessarily an existing business owner. What else we got? So we've got funding and investments. We've got HR and employment stuff. We've got websites and development. We've got how to grow a business. So I guess if you've got a business and you're struggling to grow it or how to scale it, both Clive and I run relatively successful businesses. So, we can advise on that as well. Marketing, technology, debt recovery as well, and kind of alluding to some of these things. They might not be our kind of core competence in terms of our skill set, but we will be looking to get some specialists on board, do some interviews. I think I've already got about half a dozen people that have put their hand up to say that they want to kind of deliver some content in one of their, I guess, specialist fields, specialist topics. So there's stuff like that will come. And I guess we'll keep teasing out polls and we'll keep teasing out kind of pressing, I guess, areas within those topics. So, for property, for example, there could be something specific within property about, how to operate property within limited companies. So we can go niche and we can go sort of hyper niche as well to kind of tease out some of those most commonly asked questions. And with some of this as well, like we're planning to potentially do some resources as well that we'll be able to give away. So whether they are, I don't know, kind of PDF worksheets, ebooks, Excel templates, financial models, things like that. Stuff that I know Clive and I have created for our own clients in the past through other means and ways. So I think that'd be quite cool that we can hopefully do some stuff like that as well. And who knows, people that may come in and want to do interviews and things like that, they may have their own content to bring as well. So we're trying to make this like not pitchy at all. This is just trying to deliver some value, some content in a way that I think Clive and I would hopefully enjoy to deliver, and hopefully you guys will hopefully find interesting to have.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think it's very much about just getting together, having a chat, collective minds, just brainstorming and coming up with some ideas. I know. Like one of the ultimate goals for this would be to, as you said, interviews. Interviews are really important with people who are experts in their areas. Because they have some really good information and knowledge and things that you probably wouldn't even think about that could spark some new ideas for you and allow you to head off in new and interesting directions as well, especially around pensions. I've been learning some interesting stuff lately that even I didn't realize, but I'm not a pensions guy. So I've come to learn it's really important to have somebody in your corner that will look after your pensions and investments for you. So yeah, getting experts on will be really good, actually. Now, ultimately, Neil, you've won when you get Stephen Barlett on the show as well, right? You just renamed this hashtag Making Finance Fun to hashtag Diary of a CFO meets a Diary of a CEO. And that's it. Job's done. Long-term goal.
We've got the episode title banged already, so we just need him to come on, right? Is that the idea?
Well, that's it. We'll give them little teasers and maybe some resources and some swag or something like that. And see if we can slowly entice them to come on the show.
That's a great idea. I've just put a question on the screen. I think it's Ryan. I just checked my Facebook feed. Ryan said it's a bit small there. Might have to make that bigger in the future. But are you going to recap, share, give insight, the topics, subjects people suggested they wanted to discuss here? And I think he said that we've answered it. So yeah. So the concept is, we've got ideas. We've got lots of ideas, and we will share those ideas. But this only lives and breathes on the fact that people find it interesting. So we only want to talk about what people want to talk about, basically. So yeah, depending on kind of the interaction, and as part of my notes here in terms of engaging with the audience, like both Clive and I are really like hyper intensive on social media. We do a lot on social media, which as an industry, like accountants don't really do an awful lot. I guess if you're watching this on LinkedIn, the kind of crowd that I hang out with on LinkedIn are probably a bit more pro social media than your average accountant. But if you're watching this as a business owner, if you're watching this maybe in the Facebook group, for example, then you might not really kind of see much in the way of content from accountants. And I like to think I buck that trend. But I like to kind of give insight in terms of what we do. It's not just tax returns all day, as I'm sure Clive will allude to. It's more interesting, exciting things. It's commercial strategy. It's helping clients, what effectively change their lives. A post I did yesterday. I've had a client that's got married, just about to have first kid. They've tripled the size of their business. They've gone from a sole trader to a limited company. So we're actively trying to change people's lives to give them fulfillment. And the way that we do that is by giving them understanding of their financials in an easy, jargon-free way. So yeah, kind of the whole engagement piece, going back to Ryan's point, absolutely. We'll be looking for feedback all the time. Clive mentioned that we'll probably do a couple of episodes in terms of interviews of each other. So if you wanted a warts and all view on me, Clive's going to interrogate me, and then I'm going to get my revenge the following episode, and I'm going to interrogate him. So we'll probably put a post up kind of on socials to say, look, this is what's happening, confirm the date and time, probably be in a couple of weeks' time. And then people can submit questions based on whatever theme topic in advance, as well as live, if that's what you want to do. Cool.
Yeah. I think, just there's some good questions coming in there from Ryan as well. So like that's really good. This is like we can see all the comments here. I can see it on the screen. I can see it on the phone. You know, you're part of this as well. Okay, it's not just two folks talking into the interspace of the interweb, but yeah, it's really important that you get involved as well. And yeah, I think it's also a good opportunity to see how accountants can be a little bit different, I suppose. People don't really know what goes on in the dark arts of accounting and tax once the doors are closed after you leave their offices or whatever it may be. So probably a good chance to get some insight, because I know last year I piggybacked on Neil's 30-day video challenge, and I did it over here, because over here in Ireland, they don't get to see Neil's content, or they don't get to see the other, what would you call it, Neil? Like the social media content, other accountants and bookkeepers put themselves out there on LinkedIn. They just don't see it because, like I always say, we're about 5 years behind where the UK is in terms of building businesses and accounting services and how accountants interact with clients and all of that. So yeah, that 30-day challenge, go live on Facebook for a minute or two, talk about just, general things, starting your own business or, cash flow tips. And the feedback was enormous from that. It's like, this is very odd and strange. You have somebody going live who's an accountant who shows up in a t-shirt or a hoodie, and he's just general chit-chat in his backyard and about just general business things. And people are coming up to me, which is quite weird, and saying, oh, I've seen your live videos that you did on Facebook. My husband was watching them. They were really good. Keep them up. That's amazing. You don't think you're doing any value to anybody, but yeah, somebody picks it up and likes it. That's the main thing.
And wasn't it right that QuickBooks contacted you on the back of doing that as well, Clive?
Yeah, so it's a funny old journey. We can get into that later on in another episode. But like, I'm hosting a QuickBooks event, the first in country QuickBooks event here in Ireland on Thursday. Myself and another QuickBooks Pro advisor. So yeah, all opportunities come on the back of it, So yeah, social media is great. It's about building a community, and it's about having conversations. And as you see, that's how we connected, Neil, and things have built up from there. So that's pretty cool, and there's good opportunities there for viewers and that too as well.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that obviously, you're in Ireland where the tax regime is quite different to the UK, where I'm based, and you predominantly use QuickBooks, whereas I predominantly use Xero. So I think there's a good combination of our mindsets being very, very similar. Like I feel like we're really similar people, and we can give quite a joined up kind of commercial approach to this project. But also we're very different in the fact that we use different tools and different regimes, which I think that works well for us as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking, we're in Portugal in May. How are we going to do this on the beach? A couple of beers on the table.
Yeah, we could do so. Yeah. So Clive and I are going out to a strategic mastermind retreat where we spoke about Mark Wickersham earlier. He lives out in Portugal. I went out a couple of times last year to do some coaching for members of his academy, and Clive's coming out for the first time it is May, isn't it? Yeah, next month. So yeah, we may try and do an episode while we're out there. That'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Take the cameras, take the microphones.
Yeah, maybe so. So I mean, I don't know about you, Clive. I mean, that's all I really wanted to say for today, just to kind of give a bit of a concept in terms of what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve. Yeah, you're going to interview me for the next episode, warts and all, however long that might take, however many tears I might have to shed. We'll do that in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I guess unless you've got anything else, Clive, you wanted to mention?
No, this is really a pilot, an introduction, who we are, what we're all about, what we want to do, and who we want to work with. And yeah, just looking at the comments there, I think we've probably nailed that, which is pretty good. And I appreciate the feedback that's coming through on the comments. They're excellent. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to doing this now, and just want to get stuck in. I'm telling you, Neil, you mentioned it at the start. You know, we spoke about this probably, what was it, last September, and it's kind of like we're here now, so we're finally at the start line, which is brilliant. And I was going to text you back one day. I goes, the hospital is running out of patients at one stage.
It's like I said at the
But we're
beginning.
here.
It's something that we wanted to do for a while, and I didn't want to do it on my own. I wanted to do it with Clive, and it's a combination of being busy and a little bit of procrastination in there as well, which is an absolute killer at times. But yeah, look, we're going to have
We're
fun with
here.
this. The
Yeah.
clues in the name. I'm going to try and get Clive to say the word third as many times as I can per episode. Can you say the word third, Clive?
Neil, you took the mick out of me walking down the streets in Manchester over this bloody word, right? I can't say it, right? So people, just to give you a quick background, my dad's side of the family are all from Surrey, okay? And as a kid, I used to go visit my aunts and my uncles and my nan. And my nan used to get great crack out of it because I could never say the word third. I can't say it.
Well,
Like
yeah, there you
tree.
go.
The word tree, yeah? So the
Yeah.
word tree and third, she said, it's not one first, second, and third. It's first, second, and third. I can't say it. But anyway, there you go. You'll get used to my accent.
So we're gonna have a bit of fun. We're gonna have a bit of banter. It's serious, it's professional, but you know what? If you can't have a bit of fun doing it, then why do it at all? So thank you for everyone's comments. We're gonna kind of go away and sort of watch this back. Maybe share some recordings. I've already mentioned Chloe's going to hopefully share it in his group. There's a couple of things we need to do in terms of like security settings because a lot of the comments on my screen are coming up as Facebook user, and I know who they are because I've got the Facebook stream to the side of me. So this will evolve undoubtedly, and we'll tweak it. But yeah, I think that's all from me.
Yep, absolutely. Great job. Well done.
All right, goodbye, Clive. See you soon.
Bye, Neil. Bye, folks. See you soon.